Do you want to successfully complete the D217 Objective Assessment Exam? Then you are in the right place. Our website provides a list of questions and answers for your success in the D217 OA Exam for free. We understand that acing your OA exam can be quite challenging. That's why we provide completely free exam guides and practice questions for you. In this video, we will cover questions from data management, system types, accounting process, internal controls, and e-commerce. So, let's get started. 1. What type of code is used to assign ranges of values to specific attributes, such as account classifications? A. Group code. B. Block code. C. Sequential code. D. Alphabetical code. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Block code. Explanation: option B is correct because block codes reserve a specific range or block of numbers for a particular category. For example, in a chart of accounts, asset accounts might be assigned the 199 block, while liability accounts are assigned the 299 block. Option A is incorrect because a group code is a multi-part code used to represent complex items, where each part or field describes a different attribute. Option C is incorrect because a sequential code simply lists items in numerical order, like check numbers or invoice numbers, and does not assign categorical meaning to ranges. Option D is incorrect because an alphabetical code uses letters, not numerical ranges, to classify items, often as memory aids or mnemonics. 2. What is the purpose of mnemonic codes? A. To represent items in sequential order. B. To create simple numeric codes. C. To represent complex items involving multiple fields. D. To convey meaning through acronyms or combinations of letters. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, D. To convey meaning through acronyms or combinations of letters. Explanation: option D is correct because mnemonic codes are designed to be memory aids. They use letters and sometimes numbers in a way that is easy to remember, such as using CA for California or ACCT for the accounting department. Option A is incorrect because representing items in sequential order is the function of a sequential code. Option B is incorrect because mnemonic codes are alphabetic or alphanumeric, not simple numeric codes. Option C is incorrect because representing complex items with multiple fields is the function of a group code. 3. What is the role of the digital audit trail in a modern accounting system? A. To track the shipment of goods. B. To record transactions for external audit. C. To trace the flow of transactions from input to output. D. To store sensitive company data. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. To trace the flow of transactions from input to output. Explanation: option C is correct because the primary role of a digital audit trail is to provide a traceable path for every transaction. This allows auditors and managers to follow a transaction from its original source document through all processing steps to its final posting in the general ledger and financial statements. Option A is incorrect because while shipment data may be part of an audit trail, the trail's main purpose is to trace the financial transaction flow, not just logistical movements. Option B is incorrect because although the audit trail is essential for external audits, its fundamental role is the tracing of transactions, which serves internal control purposes as well. Option D is incorrect because while the audit trail consists of stored data, its specific purpose is to provide a historical record of processing, not just to act as a general data storage facility. 4. Which type of file contains account data and is updated by transactions? A. Archive file. B. Transaction file. C. Master file. D. Reference file. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Master file. Explanation: option C is correct because a master file contains permanent or semi-permanent data that reflects the current status of accounts, such as customer balances, inventory levels, or employee pay rates. This data is periodically updated by information from transaction files. Option A is incorrect because an archive file stores historical data from past transactions and is not actively updated by current business activities. Option B is incorrect because a transaction file contains records of individual business events, like sales or payments, that are used to update the master file. Option D is incorrect because a reference file contains static information, such as tax tables or price lists, that is used during transaction processing, but is not updated by the transactions themselves. 5. What is the function of the transaction file? A. To store employee payroll information. B. To act as a backup for the master file. C. To update data in the master file. D. To store historical data for future reference. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. To update data in the master file. Explanation: option C is correct because a transaction file is a temporary file that accumulates records of individual business activities over a certain period. These records are then processed as a batch to update the standing balances in the master file. Option A is incorrect because while payroll transactions would be in a transaction file, this describes the content for one specific process, not the general function of the file type. Option B is incorrect because a transaction file only contains recent activity and is not a complete copy of the master file, which is what a backup file would be. Option D is incorrect because storing historical data for future reference is the function of an archive file, not a temporary transaction file. 6. Which file contains records of past transactions retained for future reference and forms part of the audit trail? A. Master file. B. Transaction file. C. Archive file. D. Reference file. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Archive file. Explanation: option C is correct because an archive file is a storage place for past transaction files. These historical records are essential for answering inquiries, performing analyses, and providing a detailed audit trail of past activities. Option A is incorrect because the master file contains current account balances and status information, not the detailed history of past transactions. Option B is incorrect because the transaction file holds current transactions that have not yet been fully processed or archived. Option D is incorrect because a reference file contains static data like price lists or shipping rates, not records of past transactions. 7. What is the main responsibility of an external auditor? A. Authorizing transactions. B. Determining the validity, accuracy and completeness of financial records. C. Maintaining customer records. D. Managing payroll processing. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Determining the validity, accuracy and completeness of financial records. Explanation: option B is correct because an external auditor's primary role is to provide an independent opinion on a company's financial statements. To do this, they must test and verify that the underlying financial records are valid, accurate, and complete. Option A is incorrect because authorizing transactions is an internal management function. An auditor must remain independent and cannot perform such operational tasks. Option C is incorrect because maintaining customer records is an operational responsibility of the sales or accounting departments, not an independent auditor. Option D is incorrect because managing payroll is an internal administrative function handled by the payroll or HR department. 8. What type of ledger is used to record detailed data for general ledger accounts with many individual sub-accounts? A. General ledger. B. Subsidiary ledger. C. Payroll ledger. D. Journal ledger. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Subsidiary ledger. Explanation: Option B is correct because a subsidiary ledger contains the detailed information that makes up a single control account in the general ledger. For example, the accounts receivable subsidiary ledger lists the individual balances owed by every customer, and its total should match the accounts receivable balance in the general ledger. Option A is incorrect because the general ledger contains summary level accounts, also known as control accounts, not the detailed sub-accounts. Option C is incorrect because a payroll ledger is a specific example of a subsidiary ledger, but subsidiary ledger is the correct general term being defined. Option D is incorrect because journal ledger is not a standard accounting term. Transactions are recorded in journals and then posted to ledgers. Nine. What is the primary duty of a mailroom clerk in accounting? A. Verifying account balances. B. Handling payroll processing. C. Reconciling checks and remittances. D. Recording customer orders. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Reconciling checks and remittances. Explanation: Option C is correct because in a well-controlled system, a mailroom clerk opens customer payments, separates the checks from the remittance advices, and creates an initial list of receipts. This reconciliation, or matching, ensures all payments are accounted for before being sent to different departments, which is a key step in separating duties. Option A is incorrect because verifying account balances is a higher-level accounting function performed by the accounting department. Option B is incorrect because handling payroll is a confidential task performed by the human resources or payroll department. Option D is incorrect because recording customer orders is a function of the sales or order entry department. 10. What does the purchase requisition ensure? A. That items purchased are from authorized vendors. B. That items are delivered to customers on time. C. That employees receive paychecks. D. That sales are recorded in the journal. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, A. That items purchased are from authorized vendors. Explanation: Option A is correct because the purchase requisition is the internal document that formally starts the procurement process. The approval of a requisition authorizes the purchasing department to acquire goods or services, and a critical step in that process is to select a vendor from the company's authorized vendor list. Option B is incorrect because this relates to the shipping and logistics function within the sales cycle, not the purchasing cycle. Option C is incorrect because paychecks are related to the payroll cycle, not the purchasing of goods and services. Option D is incorrect because recording sales is part of the revenue cycle, whereas a purchase requisition is part of the expenditure cycle. 11. What is the main function of the accounts payable department? A. Managing payroll records. B. Collecting data and invoices to complete transactions. C. Handling customer complaints. D. Approving vendor contracts. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Collecting data and invoices to complete transactions. Explanation. Option B is correct because the accounts payable department is responsible for processing vendor invoices. This involves collecting the invoice, purchase order, and receiving report, verifying that the goods or services were received, and scheduling the payment to the vendor. Option A is incorrect because managing payroll is the responsibility of the payroll or human resources department. Option C is incorrect because handling customer complaints is a function of the customer service department. Option D is incorrect because approving vendor contracts is a strategic sourcing task handled by the purchasing or legal department, not accounts payable. 12. What is a three-way match in the expenditure cycle? A. A match between the customer, vendor, and auditor. B. A match between the general ledger, trial balance, and income statement. C. A reconciliation of the supplier's invoice, receiving report, and purchase order. D. A comparison of sales orders, shipping receipts, and inventory reports. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. A reconciliation of the supplier's invoice, receiving report, and purchase order. Explanation. Option C is correct because a three-way match is a crucial internal control in the accounts payable process. It involves comparing the vendor invoice to the corresponding purchase order and receiving report to ensure the company is paying only for the goods it ordered and actually received. Option A is incorrect because these are stakeholders in a business process, not the documents used to verify a specific transaction. Option B is incorrect because these are financial reports and records, not the source documents used to validate an individual purchase. Option D is incorrect because these documents are primarily associated with the revenue cycle, not the expenditure cycle. 13. Which document identifies employees authorized to receive a paycheck? A. Payroll register. B. Personnel action form. C. Time card. D. Purchase requisition. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Personnel action form. Explanation. Option B is correct because a personnel action form, originating from the Human Resources Department, is the official document used to authorize adding an employee to the payroll, changing their pay rate, or terminating their employment. It provides the authorization for payroll processing. Option A is incorrect because the payroll register lists the pay details for employees for a specific pay period, but the authorization for an employee to be on that list comes from HR. Option C is incorrect because a time card provides the hours an employee worked, which is used to calculate their pay, but it does not authorize their employment status. Option D is incorrect because a purchase requisition is used to request the purchase of goods and services, not to authorize payroll. (14) What is included in the payroll register? A. Customer sales data. B. Details of gross pay, deductions, overtime, and net pay. C. General ledger balances. D. A list of authorized vendors. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Details of gross pay, deductions, overtime, and net pay. Explanation. Option B is correct because the payroll register is a detailed report that summarizes the payroll information for all employees for a single pay period. It includes each employee's gross pay, all statutory and voluntary deductions, and the final net pay. Option A is incorrect because customer sales data belongs in the revenue cycle accounting records. Option C is incorrect because general ledger balances are summary totals, whereas the payroll register contains the detailed calculations for each employee. Option D is incorrect because a list of authorised vendors is used by the accounts payable and purchasing departments. (15) Which account is used to deposit a single cheque for the entire payroll amount? A. General account. B. Accounts receivable account. C. Payroll imprest account. D. Savings account. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Payroll imprest account. Explanation: Option C is correct, because a payroll imprest account is a special purpose bank account used exclusively for payroll. For each pay period, a single cheque for the exact amount of the total net pay is transferred from the general account into it. Individual paychecks are then drawn on this account, and its balance should return to zero after all cheques are cashed, simplifying reconciliation. Option A is incorrect because the general account is the main operating account from which the funds are transferred. It is not the account paychecks are drawn on. Option B is incorrect because the accounts receivable account is an accounting record of money owed by customers, not a bank account for paying employees. Option D is incorrect because a savings account is typically used for holding funds to earn interest, not for high-volume transaction processing like payroll. (16) Who are the primary recipients of financial information in a business? A. Employees and vendors. B. Investors and creditors. C. Customers and suppliers. D. Government agencies and employees. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Investors and creditors. Explanation: Option B is correct because investors who own the company and creditors who lend money to it are the primary external users of general-purpose financial statements. They rely on this information to make critical decisions about providing capital to the business. Option A is incorrect because while employees and vendors use financial information, their needs are often more specific and they are not considered the primary audience for external financial reporting. Option C is incorrect because customers and suppliers are also users, but their focus is typically on the company's short-term viability, unlike the long-term focus of investors and creditors. Option D is incorrect because government agencies like the IRS have specific reporting requirements, and employees are considered internal users. Investors and creditors represent the main audience for financial reports. 17. What is the main purpose of general ledger files in the audit trail? A. To track sales records. B. To provide historical data and prevent errors. C. To generate customer invoices. D. To update vendor records. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. To provide historical data and prevent errors. Explanation: Option B is correct because the general ledger is the central repository of a company's financial data. As part of the audit trail, it provides a complete historical record of all accounts, which can be used to answer inquiries, create financial reports, and help detect errors through analysis and reconciliation. Option A is incorrect because the general ledger tracks all financial accounts, not just sales records. Option C is incorrect because customer invoices are generated by the billing system, not the general ledger itself. Option D is incorrect because vendor records are maintained in the accounts payable subsidiary ledger or vendor master file, although the summary level liability is in the general ledger. What is a consequence of automating general ledger postings? A. Improved security. B. Increased sales. C. Risk of errors in data due to lack of human intervention. D. Elimination of audit trails. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Risk of errors in data due to lack of human intervention. Explanation. Option C is correct because when general ledger postings are automated, the manual review step is removed. If there is a systematic error in the input data or the processing logic, it can be automatically posted to many accounts without being detected, leading to widespread inaccuracies. Option A is incorrect because while automation can enhance some aspects of security, it also introduces new risks and does not guarantee overall improvement. Option B is incorrect because automating accounting processes does not have a direct impact on increasing sales. Option D is incorrect because automation does not eliminate the audit trail, it transforms it into a digital format, which is often more detailed and traceable than a manual one. 19. What is the primary issue with the flat file approach to data management? A. It requires excessive computing power. B. It leads to data redundancy and task data dependency. C. It simplifies data integration. D. It ensures more accurate record keeping. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. B. It leads to data redundancy and task data dependency. Explanation. Option B is correct because in a flat file environment, each application has its own separate data file. This causes data redundancy, where the same information like a customer's address is stored in multiple places. It also creates task data dependency, meaning a user's tasks are limited by the data available in their specific application. Option A is incorrect because flat file systems are generally less complex and require less computing power than modern database systems. Option C is incorrect because the flat file approach makes data integration extremely difficult, as data is locked away in separate, often incompatible files. Option D is incorrect because data redundancy often leads to inaccuracies. If data is updated in one file but not another, the records become inconsistent. 20. Where is pooled data shared by all users typically stored? A. In a flat file. B. In the general ledger. C. In a database. D. In a transaction file. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. In a database. Explanation. Option C is correct because a database is a central repository of data that is managed by a database management system. It is designed specifically to store data in one place, eliminate redundancy, and allow the data to be shared among many different users and applications. Option A is incorrect because a flat file is a data file associated with a single, specific application and is not shared. Option B is incorrect because the general ledger is an accounting application that uses a database. But database is the general term for the shared data pool itself. Option D is incorrect because a transaction file is a temporary file used to store recent transactions before they are used to update the central database. Which description is associated with a data dictionary? A. A record of all transactions for the audit trail. B. A collection of customer details. C. A description of every data element in the database. D. A list of vendors and their addresses. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. A description of every data element in the database. Explanation. Option C is correct because a data dictionary is a central file containing metadata, which is data about the data. It provides descriptions for every data element, including its name, data type, length, format, usage, and ownership. Option A is incorrect because a record of all transactions is a transaction log or an audit trail. Option B is incorrect because a collection of customer details would be stored in a customer master file or table. Option D is incorrect because a list of vendors and their addresses would be stored in a vendor master file or a table. (22) What type of file allows records to be accessed via an index? A. Archive file. B. Sequential file. C. Indexed file. D. Transaction file. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Indexed file. Explanation. Option C is correct because an indexed file structure includes a separate index that acts like a table of contents. It allows the system to look up the physical location of a specific record and access it directly, which is much faster than reading the file from the beginning. Option A is incorrect because an archive file is defined by its historical content, not its data access method. Option B is incorrect because a sequential file must be read in order from the first record to the last to find a specific piece of data. Option D is incorrect because a transaction file is defined by its purpose of holding recent transactions, not by its access method. (23) Which anomaly is caused by data redundancy in an unnormalized table? A. Update anomaly. B. Sequence anomaly. C. Transaction anomaly. D. Trial balance anomaly. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, A. Update anomaly. Explanation. Option A is correct because an update anomaly occurs when redundant data exists in a table. If a piece of information, like a customer's address, needs to be updated, it must be changed in every single record where it appears. Failing to update all instances leads to data inconsistencies. Option B is incorrect because sequence anomaly is not a standard term used to describe database normalization problems. Option C is incorrect because a transaction anomaly typically refers to errors in concurrent database processing, not issues related to data normalization. Option D is incorrect because trial balance anomaly is an accounting term, not a term used in the context of database design anomalies. 24. In database design, which issue occurs when one cannot add a new record to a table because a related piece of information is not yet available? A. Update anomaly. B. Deletion anomaly. C. Insertion anomaly. D. Data redundancy. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Insertion anomaly. Explanation. Option C is correct because an insertion anomaly is a structural flaw in a database table that prevents a user from adding a new record. This happens when the table design requires a piece of information that may not be available at the time of data entry, such as being unable to add a new customer until they have placed their first order. Option A is incorrect because an update anomaly involves the failure to consistently update redundant data across all records. Option B is incorrect because a deletion anomaly is the unintentional loss of data about one entity when a record about another entity is deleted. Option D is incorrect because data redundancy is the underlying cause of these anomalies, but it is not the insertion anomaly itself. 25. What system is more than an elaborate transaction processing system and also functions as a decision support tool? A. General ledger system. B. Payroll system. C. Enterprise resource planning system. D. Accounts payable system. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Enterprise resource planning system. Explanation. Option C is correct because an enterprise resource planning or ERP system integrates all of a company's core business processes, such as finance, HR, and manufacturing, into a single system. In addition to processing transactions, it provides powerful tools for reporting, analytics, and forecasting to support management decision-making. Option A is incorrect because a general ledger system is primarily a transaction processing system focused on accounting. Option B is incorrect because a payroll system is a specialized transaction processing system for managing employee pay. Option D is incorrect because an accounts payable system is a transaction processing system for managing payments to vendors. 26. What is a characteristic of an enterprise resource planning system's core applications? A. They support payroll processing. B. They facilitate internal communications across departments. C. They allow unauthorized access to customer data. D. They generate vendor reports automatically. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. They facilitate internal communications across departments. Explanation. Option B is correct because the central characteristic of an ERP system is integration. Its core applications are designed to share a common database, which breaks down information silos and allows seamless data flow and communication between different departments like sales, finance, and supply chain. Option A is incorrect because while payroll is a function often included in an ERP's HR module, the defining characteristic is the integration across all functions, not just one. Option C is incorrect because ERP systems are built with robust security and access controls to prevent unauthorized access to sensitive data. Option D is incorrect because while ERPs can generate vendor reports, this is a feature of many systems. The key characteristic is cross-departmental integration. 27. What does the trustee seal indicate about an organization's online practices? A. The organization is certified to handle online payments. B. The organization agrees to trustee privacy policies and responds to customer complaints. C. The organization ensures transaction security only. D. The organization is exempt from privacy audits. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. The organization agrees to trustee privacy policies and responds to customer complaints. Explanation. Option B is correct because trustee is a company that certifies an organization's data privacy practices. Displaying the trustee seal signifies that the company has agreed to adhere to specific privacy principles and has a process in place to resolve customer complaints about privacy. Option A is incorrect because certification for handling online payments is related to payment card industry, data security standard, or PCI DSS compliance, not trustee. Option C is incorrect because ensuring transaction security, typically through encryption, is associated with seals like DigiCert or VeriSign, not trustee's privacy focus. Option D is incorrect because organizations with the trustee seal are subject to ongoing monitoring and complaint resolution processes, not exempt from them. 28. What type of seal does VeriSign Inc. provide for online security? A. Payment processing certification. B. ICSA security certification. C. Trustee privacy seal. D. Security assurance for transmitted data. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. D. Security assurance for transmitted data. Explanation. Option D is correct because VeriSign, now owned by DigiCert, is a leading provider of secure sockets layer and transport layer security, or SSL TLS certificates. These certificates enable encryption, which provides assurance that data transmitted between a user's browser and a website is secure and protected from eavesdropping. Option A is incorrect because payment processing certification falls under PCI DSS. Option B is incorrect because the International Computer Security Association, or ICSA, provides security certification for products like firewalls and antivirus software. Option C is incorrect because the Trustee Seal certifies an organization's data privacy policies, not data transmission security. (29) Which organization promotes ethical business practices through self-regulation and provides an online certification? A. Trustee. B. Better Business Bureau. C. ICSA. D. VeriSign. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Better Business Bureau. Explanation. Option B is correct because the Better Business Bureau, or BBB, is a non-profit organisation focused on advancing marketplace trust. It accredits businesses that commit to its standards for ethical practices, such as honest advertising and good faith efforts to resolve consumer complaints. Option A is incorrect because Trustee focuses specifically on certifying data privacy practices. Option C is incorrect because ICSA certifies the security of computer products, not the general ethical practices of a business. Option D is incorrect because VeriSign provides technology for securing data transmission, not a certification for ethical business practices. (30) What control environment change affects procurement and cash disbursements by electronic commerce? A. Transactions are no longer subject to audits. B. Transactions are performed automatically in real time. C. Employees are required to sign off on every transaction. D. Only vendors control transaction records. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Transactions are performed automatically in real time. Explanation. Option B is correct because with electronic commerce, processes like issuing a purchase order, receiving an invoice, and making a payment can be executed automatically by computer systems in real time. This removes manual steps and changes the nature of internal controls from manual reviews to system-based rules and exception handling. Option A is incorrect because electronic transactions are still subject to audits, though the methods change to focus on testing system controls, known as auditing through the computer. Option C is incorrect because automation is designed to reduce or eliminate the need for manual approval on every routine transaction. Option D is incorrect because while vendors participate in the electronic exchange, the company must still maintain its own internal controls and transaction records. (31) Why is effective communication between systems lacking in traditional, non-ERP models? A. There is no need for systems integration. B. Systems are not designed to communicate with each other. C. Systems rely on manual processes. D. Systems are not connected to external vendors. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Systems are not designed to communicate with each other. Explanation. Option B is correct because in traditional models, business systems were often developed independently for each department, creating information silos. Each system had its own data and was not designed to share it or communicate with other systems, making cross-functional processes difficult. Option A is incorrect because the need for systems integration is significant in these models. The lack of it is a major weakness. Option C is incorrect because the core problem is the lack of designed interoperability, regardless of whether the processes are manual or automated. Option D is incorrect because communication between internal systems is a separate issue from communication with external parties like vendors. (32) What kind of anomalies do improperly normalized tables create? A. Database corruption. B. Sequence errors. C. Data redundancies. D. Reconciliation errors. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Data redundancies. Explanation: Option C is correct because improper normalization of database tables directly leads to data redundancy, which is the unnecessary repetition of data in multiple rows or tables. This redundancy is the root cause of update, insertion, and deletion anomalies. Option A is incorrect because while anomalies can lead to inconsistent data, database corruption is a more severe and general term for physical or logical damage to the database. Option B is incorrect because sequence errors is not a standard term used to describe database normalization issues. Option D is incorrect because reconciliation errors is an accounting term for when two sets of records do not match. It is a symptom, not the database structure problem itself. (33) Which access point is most commonly used to commit computer fraud? A. Network server. B. Data collection point. C. Operating system. D. Database. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Data collection point. Explanation: Option B is correct because the data collection or input stage is the easiest place to perpetrate fraud. This can involve submitting false documents, creating fictitious transactions, or altering data before it enters the system's more rigorous processing controls. This is often referred to as a garbage in, garbage out scenario. Option A is incorrect because directly accessing a network server typically requires a higher level of technical skill and is more easily detected. Option C is incorrect because compromising the operating system is a sophisticated attack, not the most common method of fraud. Option D is incorrect because direct access to the database often requires privileged credentials that are usually well controlled and logged. 34. Which test verifies that credit checks and accounts payable three-way matches are performed by an application? A. Completeness test. B. Accuracy test. C. Validity test. D. Redundancy test. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Validity test. Explanation: Option C is correct because a validity test or check ensures that transactions and data conform to established business rules and authorizations. Verifying that a customer has sufficient credit or that a vendor invoice matches the purchase order and receiving report are examples of validating a transaction's legitimacy. Option A is incorrect because a completeness test checks only that all required data fields have been filled in. Option B is incorrect because an accuracy test checks for mathematical correctness, such as ensuring that columns in a report add up correctly. Option D is incorrect because a redundancy test or duplicate check looks for repeated entries of the same transaction. (35) What is the function of a completeness test? A. To check for redundant data. B. To ensure that all required data is present. C. To verify access credentials. D. To test the accuracy of payroll data. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. To ensure that all required data is present. Explanation. Option B is correct because a completeness test, also known as a completeness check, is an input control that verifies all necessary data fields in a record have been filled. It also ensures that no records are missing from a batch of transactions. Option A is incorrect because checking for redundant or duplicate data is the function of a duplicate check. Option C is incorrect because verifying access credentials is an authentication control, not a data completeness test. Option D is incorrect because testing the accuracy of payroll calculations would be performed by an accuracy or reasonableness test. 36. Which outcome can occur if systems development is not separated from the database administrator? A. More accurate reporting. B. Increased system efficiency. C. Deficient database access controls. D. Fewer compliance requirements. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. Deficient database access controls. Explanation. Option C is correct because this situation represents a critical failure in the segregation of duties. If a system developer also has database administrator privileges, they could potentially build unauthorized access points into an application and then use their database credentials to bypass controls and access or alter sensitive data directly. Option A is incorrect because this lack of control would likely lead to less accurate, not more accurate reporting. Option B is incorrect because while it might seem efficient to have one person do both jobs, the risk introduced by the lack of oversight and control is a major deficiency. Option D is incorrect because this weak control environment would increase compliance risks and likely lead to audit failures, not fewer requirements. 37. What is the purpose of audit trail tests? A. To test employee records. B. To ensure applications create an adequate audit trail. C. To update transaction files. D. To generate payroll reports. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. To ensure applications create an adequate audit trail. Explanation. Option B is correct because audit trail tests are procedures used by auditors to verify that the system properly documents the flow of transactions. This involves tracing selected transactions from their source to their final disposition to ensure every step is recorded and can be reconstructed. Option A is incorrect because while employee payroll transactions might be tested as part of this process, the overall purpose is to test the trail itself, not just one type of record. Option C is incorrect because updating transaction files is an operational system function, not an audit test. Option D is incorrect because generating reports is a system function. Auditors test the accuracy of these reports, but that is different from testing the audit trail's integrity. 38. When auditing a computer system, what is the black box approach? A. Reviewing the application's source code for logic errors. B. Processing test data through the system and comparing output to predetermined results. C. Interviewing developers about how the system was built. D. Analyzing the network security protocols. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Processing test data through the system and comparing output to predetermined results. Explanation. Option B is correct because the black box approach, also known as auditing around the computer, treats the application's internal logic as an unobservable black box. Auditors focus on the inputs and outputs by processing test transactions and comparing the system's results to their own manually calculated results to see if they match. Option A is incorrect because reviewing the application's source code is characteristic of the white box approach, or auditing through the computer. Option C is incorrect because interviewing developers is a way to understand the system, but not the test itself. Option D is incorrect because analyzing network protocols is part of a network security review, not the black box application testing approach. 39. Why might an organization choose to implement preventive controls over detective controls? A. Preventive controls are cheaper to maintain. B. Preventive controls reduce the likelihood of undesirable events. C. Detective controls offer limited protection. D. Preventive controls are easier to implement. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Preventive controls reduce the likelihood of undesirable events. Explanation. Option B is correct because preventive controls are designed to stop errors or fraud from happening in the first place. It is almost always more effective and efficient to prevent a problem than it is to find and fix it after it has already occurred. Option A is incorrect because preventive controls such as implementing a complex security system or segregating duties can be very expensive to design and maintain. Option C is incorrect because detective controls like reconciliations and audits are crucial and offer significant protection by identifying problems that were not prevented. Option D is incorrect because preventive controls are often more difficult and complex to design and implement than detective controls. 40. What is a characteristic of a group code? A. It represents complex items involving multiple fields of related data. B. It is used to sequence transactions in a ledger. C. It tracks physical assets in a system. D. It is a code used only for customer identification. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. A. It represents complex items involving multiple fields of related data. Explanation. Option A is correct because a group code is structured to convey detailed information by using different zones or fields within the code. Each field represents a specific attribute of an item, allowing for the classification of complex items. For example, a car's VIN is a type of group code. Option B is incorrect because using a simple numerical sequence is the function of a sequential code. Option C is incorrect because tracking assets is the function of an asset management system, which might use any type of code. It does not describe the structure of a group code. Option D is incorrect because while a group code could be used for customers, its defining characteristic is its multi-field structure for complex items, not its use for a single entity type. 41. Which type of control helps ensure that mathematical calculations are accurate and correctly posted to accounts? A. Accuracy test. B. Completeness test. C. Validity test. D. Redundancy test. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. A. Accuracy test. Explanation. Option A is correct because accuracy tests are application controls designed to verify the mathematical correctness of data. Examples include cross-footing, where totals are compared by adding them both horizontally and vertically, and ensuring that calculated amounts like sales tax are correct. Option B is incorrect because a completeness test ensures that all required data fields are filled in. Option C is incorrect because a validity test ensures that data conforms to pre-established rules, such as checking a customer number against a master file. Option D is incorrect because a redundancy test or duplicate check looks for repeated entries of the same transaction. (42) What risk can arise from not having a separate system maintenance function? A. Improved system performance. B. Increased operational costs. C. Difficulty in testing and debugging the system. D. Fewer security vulnerabilities. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Difficulty in testing and debugging the system. Explanation. Option C is correct because when system maintenance is not a distinct function, documentation is often poor, and the original developers may be the only ones who understand the system's logic. If they leave, it becomes extremely difficult for others to interpret, test, and debug the system, leading to operational inefficiencies and risks. Option A is incorrect because this situation would likely lead to degraded, not improved system performance over time. Option B is incorrect because while operational costs might increase due to inefficiency, the direct technical challenge of maintaining the system is a more specific risk. Option D is incorrect because combining development and maintenance can lead to more security vulnerabilities due to a lack of independent oversight and control over program changes. 43. What do filtering rules in a network-level firewall control? A. The type of data processed by the accounting system. B. Access to system resources based on defined criteria. C. The allocation of computer memory. D. The accuracy of transaction postings. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Access to system resources based on defined criteria. Explanation. Option B is correct because a network firewall uses a set of filtering rules, often called an access control list, to inspect network traffic. It decides whether to allow or block traffic based on defined criteria such as the source and destination, IP addresses and port numbers, thereby controlling access to the network. Option A is incorrect because a firewall operates at the network level and does not inspect the content or type of data within an application like the accounting system. Option C is incorrect because memory allocation is a function of the computer's operating system. Option D is incorrect because ensuring the accuracy of transaction postings is the job of application controls within the accounting software. (44) Which data quality attribute ensures that all required data values for a record or transaction are present? A. Data redundancy. B. Data recording. C. Data backup. D. Data completeness. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. D. Data completeness. Explanation. Option D is correct because data completeness is the quality attribute that measures whether all necessary data is present in a data set. Controls like completeness checks are used to ensure that records are not missing required values before they are processed. Option A is incorrect because data redundancy is the unnecessary repetition of data, which is a negative data quality attribute. Option B is incorrect because data recording is the general process of entering data into a system. Option C is incorrect because data backup is the process of copying data for disaster recovery purposes, not an attribute of the data itself. (45) Why might a medical firm decide to purchase a commercial system rather than continue developing an in-house system? A. In-house systems are too customizable. B. Special purpose commercial systems are available for the medical field. C. Commercial systems are harder to maintain. D. Commercial systems are more expensive. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Special purpose commercial systems are available for the medical field. Explanation. Option B is correct because many software companies develop commercial systems tailored to the specific needs of vertical industries like healthcare. These systems often include specialized features for patient management, billing, and compliance with regulations like HIPAA, which would be very costly and time-consuming to develop in-house. Option A is incorrect because high customizability is a primary advantage and reason for developing an in-house system, not a reason to abandon it. Option C is incorrect because commercial systems often come with professional support and maintenance contracts, which can make them easier to maintain than in-house systems. Option D is incorrect because while the initial license fee for a commercial system can be high, the total cost of developing and maintaining a comparable in-house system is often significantly higher. (46) What is the most effective type of control according to the preventive, detective, corrective control model? A. Corrective. B. Preventive. C. Detective. D. Reconciliation. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Preventive. Explanation. Option B is correct because preventive controls are considered the most effective as they are designed to stop an undesirable event from occurring. It is always better to prevent a problem than to discover it and fix it after damage has already been done. Option A is incorrect because corrective controls are the last line of defense. They are reactive measures taken only after a problem has been detected. Option C is incorrect because detective controls are reactive. They are essential for identifying problems that were not prevented, but do not stop them from happening initially. Option D is incorrect because reconciliation is a specific type of detective control, not a top-level category in the model. (47) In database design, which issue occurs when deleting a record unintentionally removes data about another entity? A. Update anomaly. B. Deletion anomaly. C. Insertion anomaly. D. Sequence anomaly. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Deletion anomaly. Explanation. Option B is correct because a deletion anomaly is a structural flaw in a database that causes the unintentional loss of data. This occurs when deleting a record also removes information about another entity that was only stored as part of that record, such as losing a customer's address because their last order was deleted. Option A is incorrect because an update anomaly is the failure to consistently update redundant data. Option C is incorrect because an insertion anomaly is the inability to add a new record because a piece of related information is not yet available. Option D is incorrect because sequence anomaly is not a standard term used to describe database normalization problems. 48. How many surprise checks must an organization undergo annually to maintain the International Computer Security Association seal? A. 1, B. 2, C. 3, D. 4. Correct answer, B. 2. Do you know the answer? Explanation. Option B is correct because according to the certification requirements for the International Computer Security Association, or ICSA, organizations must successfully pass 2 surprise security checks each year to maintain their certification seal. Option A is incorrect because the requirement is for 2 surprise checks per year, not 1. Option C is incorrect because the requirement is for 2 surprise checks per year, not 3. Option D is incorrect because the requirement is for 2 surprise checks per year, not 4. What function does a system maintenance group perform? A. Monitoring the flow of information across systems. B. Maintaining system documentation and correcting issues. C. Approving transactions for payroll processing. D. Conducting system audits and reports. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Maintaining system documentation and correcting issues. Explanation. Option B is correct because the primary role of a system maintenance group is to keep existing production systems operational. This involves fixing bugs and errors as they arise and ensuring that system documentation is kept up to date to reflect any changes made. Option A is incorrect because monitoring information flow is typically a function of a network operations or security operations center. Option C is incorrect because approving transactions is an authorization function performed by user departments, not a technical maintenance group. Option D is incorrect because conducting audits is the responsibility of the internal or external audit function. Which of the following helps detect errors in a production database? A. Parallel simulation. B. Transaction sequencing. C. Reconciliation report. D. Access test. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. A. Parallel simulation. Explanation. Option A is correct because parallel simulation is an auditing technique used to test the processing logic of an application. The auditor runs real production data through a simulated version of the program and compares the results to the actual output from the live system to identify any discrepancies or errors. Option B is incorrect because transaction sequencing is an input control to ensure that no transactions are lost or processed out of order. Option C is incorrect because a reconciliation report is a detective control that compares data from different sources, but it does not directly test the application's processing logic, like parallel simulation does. Option D is incorrect because an access test is a control review to verify that only authorized users have access to the system. It does not check for data processing errors. You have reached the end of our first question set. For the free complete exam preparation, visit our website link in the description, where you find thousands more practice questions and comprehensive study guides. Thanks for studying with us today. See you in the next video.